Good evening. Tonight, violence across Belize. A young technician, Jameer Cambranes, is found shot dead along Boom Hattieville Road. In Corozal, a father gunned down as his family looks on. A viral domestic violence video involving Philip Garbett puts police accountability back under harsh scrutiny. Commuters brace for higher bus fares, and the opposition warns of fallout. And UDP leader Tracy Panton calls the cost of living crisis COVID 2.0. The headlines, the stories, right now. News 5 starts now.
Here are some interesting facts. Did you know the national ID is a unique number that connects your record across ministries? Trusted proof of identity. A tool to access public service faster. A gateway to digital government services. And a way to eliminate online fraud and identity theft.
The Belize National ID.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, April 22nd. I am Sabrina Daly. We open tonight with a shocking murder of 19-year-old Jameer Cambranes, a young technician from Belize City whose life was cut short in what family members describe as a senseless act of violence. On Tuesday night, Jameer left his home on Euphrates Avenue to meet two men in a silver Chevy Equinox. Hours later, his girlfriend noticed his phone location had not moved. And when calls and texts went unanswered, his brother went searching. That search ended in heartbreak along Boom Hattieville Road, where Jameer's body was found in the bushes. Tonight, his family is demanding answers. Police have launched an investigation, and co-workers say they are struggling to cope with the sudden loss of someone they considered family. Zenaida Lanza has our lead story.
Sometime between 7 and 8 o'clock Tuesday night, 19-year-old Jameer Cambranes left his home on Euphrates Avenue, riding his bicycle to meet two men for a ride in a silver Chevy Equinox. At some point during that ride, Cambranes shared his location with his girlfriend, something his uncle says was unusual for him. 3 hours later, after repeated calls and texts went unanswered, and with his location showing no movement, she alerted his brother. He got on a motorcycle and headed out to Boom Hattieville Road, where he found Jameer's lifeless body lying in the bushes along the roadside.
The older brother got on a motorcycle and went to look and found him. Reason unknown why he was picked up. I don't know why he was killed. I don't know. The family members are as stumped as anybody can be. This was a young, productive human being. And what I can only describe as animals picked him up and took him away.
Police say the discovery was reported just before 2 o'clock this morning, prompting officers to respond to the scene and begin an investigation into the circumstances surrounding Cambranes' death.
The investigation commenced at 1:56 a.m. on Wednesday, 22nd April, when officers attached to the Crimes Investigation Branch in Ladyville were advised that the body of 19-year-old Jameer Cambranes of Euphrates Avenue was discovered along the Boom Hattieville Road. The officers proceeded to that location where they confirmed what was reported. What we have learned so far in the course of this investigation is that Cambranes departed from his residence in Belize City sometime before 8 o'clock p.m. en route to visit two persons known to him, and it was when calls from family members of his went unanswered that a decision was made to track his phone. This decision led them to an area of the Hattieville Road where the body of Cambranes was discovered.
For the family, the loss is made even harder by what they say is a growing pattern of young men going missing and later being found dead.
His father explained to me that the only thanking that he can thank is that they were able to find his body. This seems to be the norm. I saw earlier, last week I think it was, the mother expressing gratitude for having found her son. I am very much in that same position today. This young man, like most young men, did not deserve this. He did nothing wrong.
Jamir worked as a technician at Mars Distributors along with his brother. His supervisor says the loss has shaken the entire staff, who considered him more than just an employee. For nearly 6 years, Jamir helped around the shop before he became old enough to be an official employee.
Jamir was nothing short of family. Kind of like a little brother. The entire staff is feeling it. Emotional today. This morning was a very hard time for everybody at work. Couldn't grasp the fact that this happened. We literally saw him yesterday. To not be able to ever see him come into that door again is kind of very, very shocking and hard for the staff to manage, you know.
He also described Jamir as a cautious and aware young man, someone who understood his surroundings and would not have easily put himself in danger.
I can honestly say he's an alert guy. He knows when something is going to happen and when something is happening. So I know he would not probably just pick up and go with anybody that he doesn't know. He'd have to know whoever he called him, whoever that would probably signal, yeah, I'm going with somebody. But knowing his character, he wouldn't go with anybody that he does not know.
Meanwhile, police confirmed that the silver Chevy Equinox has been impounded and is being processed. Police addressed speculation linking the vehicle to Deborah Arthur's disappearance.
I had indicated in the past that we had identified the silver Equinox of interest in relation to the Brie Arthur's disappearance. I can confirm that those two vehicles are two separate vehicles, though they fit the same description.
And while the vehicle is in custody, police continue searching for the two suspects believed to be from Belize City. Reporting for News 5, I am Zenaida Lanza.
In northern Belize, police in Corozal district are investigating a brazen murder that has left one family grieving tonight. 55-year-old Santos Antonio Escobar was gunned down while socializing with relatives in front of their home in Corozal town. News 5's Shane Williams has more from the scene.
Here in Corozal town, police are investigating the murder of 55-year-old Santos Antonio Escobar. According to investigations, he was hanging out with family just after 8 p.m. when a lone gunman approached and opened fire. Santos was struck multiple times and rushed to the Corozal Community Hospital, but died as a result of the gunshot injuries sustained. Police are now working to determine a motive and the identity of the shooter.
The officers were advised that the shooting victim was rushed to the hospital for medical attention. Officers visited both the scene of the incident and the hospital. What the investigation has so far revealed is that on the mentioned date and time, Mr. Escobar was along with two other persons socializing in front of a residence when a male person approached them and fired several shots. Whilst Mr. Escobar was injured and later succumbed to that injury, the two other persons escaped unscathed. We have retrieved a number of video footages that we are hoping to be of assistance in the ongoing investigation. No motive has been established so far.
The violence on 5th Street North hasn't faded with the headlines. Walk down the alley and the aftermath is still there. Dark blood stains on the ground and bullet holes ripped through the fence where Escobar had been standing, spending time with his family. Neighbors say the shooting has left them shaken, and worse yet, they insist this wasn't an isolated incident, but the second burst of gun violence to hit the area in just a matter of weeks.
It's an ongoing investigation. As I stated, no motive has been established. However, we do know that there was another shooting incident at that very location on 9th of March, and on that occasion, we did not get much from the person whose house was shut up. However, we are investigating to see if there is any nexus between those two incidents.
The quiet neighborhood is now marked by violence as residents struggle to come to terms with what unfolded. The town council acknowledges residents' fears, with Mayor Rigoveo saying the violence does not reflect the true nature of Corozal town.
I want to share my condolences with their family. It's a second shooting that we're having in just some couple days, you know, and I know the police department, they are doing their utmost best in trying to solve this problem or trying to react before these crimes happen. I really hope that people don't get alarmed, you know, because of these shootings. And I want to ask the young people out there to put down a gun, man. We all know what happens when you live by the gun. Eventually, it comes back hunting you, you know, and we don't want that to happen to our young people. Right now, it's not the time for that. Let's put down the gun and let's communicate. Let's work together as a community, as one municipality.
Today, police were canvassing the area, speaking with residents and looking for any surveillance footage that could help identify the gunman. But even as the investigation continues, no arrest will ease the pain of the Escobar family, who tonight remember him as a loving father, one who tried to stay away from trouble. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Corozal town was long known for its peaceful, calm, and close-knit way of life. Escobar's murder is just the latest incident in a municipality now facing a worrying surge in violent crime. Much of it is believed to be tied to activities spilling over the northern border. With shootings and executions on the rise, Mayor Rigoveo is speaking out and acknowledging the change. And while the town council is committed to doing its part to restore citizen security, Mayor Veos is urging residents to play their part at home.
It is unfortunate situations that we're facing here at Corozal now. I can tell you Corozal is not known for one of those hotspots for crime. So it's a bit surprising and unfortunate. We try our best as a town council to give support to the police department in any way possible that we can. I can inform you all that we are in talkings with the police department in ensuring that we put cameras strategically different hotspots within our town. We want to maintain Corozal town as one of the safest municipalities that we can. That's one of our major goals. The message I want to leave for every home is, because we all know everything starts at home, to parents and to all the adults within your house, talk to your kids. There are other ways we can go by solving issues. It doesn't have to be using weapons. Let's communicate amongst one another. Let's teach our children how to solve different issues the right way. Like I said, I really don't want Corozal, and I'm sure my Corozalinos have the same mentality. We don't want to turn Corozal town into one of those hot areas for crimes. We are happy that we are seeing consistently flow of tourism flowing into our town, and we want to ensure that that maintains, because we all know that it affects that and it gives a negative picture on our beautiful town.
The government of Belize is also paying keen attention to the increase in violence in the Corozal district, and each security force has deployed additional boots and resources toward the northern district. The gavel may have come down in court, but this case is still making noise behind closed doors. Police confirmed that the officer caught on camera in a viral domestic violence video is still under internal investigation, despite the matter having reached its end in the courtroom. The footage has sparked public outrage and renewed debate about how law enforcement handles misconduct within its own ranks. As pressures mount for transparency and consequences beyond a court ruling, officials say the department's disciplinary process is ongoing. The big question now, will internal accountability match public expectations? News 5's Zenaida Lanza has more.
Police Constable Philip Garbut walked out of court a free man on Monday after his common-law wife told a magistrate she did not wish to proceed. He had been charged with wounding her and causing harm to her 8-year-old son. The case drew public attention after video footage from inside the home surfaced online and went viral. While the court matter is now closed, police say their internal process is still in motion.
PC Garbut is currently on interdiction. He was placed on interdiction from the time that he was charged, and also alongside the criminal prosecution that was in place at that time was disciplinary proceedings as well, which are still undergoing.
Was police aware of the extent of his actions and more so the surveillance footage that is now public?
Yes, the surveillance footage was a part of the evidence. However, there is a process for everything, and that disciplinary tribunal process has to take its course. However, I will admit that now there is a new dimension because it is in the public realm and calls are being made. I say this because it is important for us as police officers to be able to command the confidence of those persons with whom we serve. And given that the video has made it waves on social media and persons are aware of who he is, that certainly calls into question his ability to continue gain the confidence of the public when it is that he is conducting his duties.
The case has also drawn a strong response from the Office of the Special Envoy for the Development of Families and Children, which is calling for swift administrative action and accountability. That concern was put directly to police.
I cannot say that conclusively because there is a process to everything. However, as I alluded to just now, given that the matter has gone as viral as it has and it is now in the public domain, persons in the public, and I cannot fault them for feeling that way, are of the view that he cannot continue as a police officer. So certainly we are, as I stated, approaching this new dimension from that perspective, because prior to that we were required to undertake the process that entails with whenever a police officer is charged. I believe every right-thinking person would be of the same opinion in that the conduct is one that cannot be countenanced. Children are vulnerable, women are vulnerable, and they should be protected. And especially so when you call an office such as being a police officer, you are certainly held to a higher standard.
At the opposition's press conference earlier today, Senator Sheena Pitt strongly condemned the actions and called for continuous psychological evaluations within the police department.
To hit not only another person in that extreme and violent manner, but a child with a weapon. But there is something important that we must not escape. Affording dignity to public servants is not just lip service. Policemen need continuous and periodic psychological evaluation. Because you know when man they get chance to beat up people, you know, overnight. You know when man they get to the end of the rope. And so the dignity afforded to demoralized police men and women must include providing that kind of assistance, that kind of psychosocial development continuously throughout their careers. And so we say there is never any excuse for that kind of violence on women and children, whether by police or men in the society at large. Never.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security, Francis Usher, says the issue goes beyond one individual and reflects wider societal concern.
I know that the CEO from the Ministry of Home Affairs with the responsibility for police commented yesterday that they're looking at internal ways to discipline. So that's a matter for the police department, and I believe the case is wrapped up in the courts now. Unfortunate what happened. My heart goes out to the victims. Like I said, that type of behavior cannot and should not be tolerated in society, and so we all have a part to play to ensure that, you know, society on a whole in Belize, we continue to grow and we continue to get better.
With disciplinary proceedings still underway and growing calls for swift administrative action, the question now is whether the department can reassure the public that officers will be held to the highest standard. Reporting for News 5, I am Zenaida Lanza.
After months of uncertainty, a missing teenage girl is finally safe, but the danger may not be over. Police say a joint security operation in the Stan Creek district led to the rescue of a kidnapped 14-year-old Guatemalan girl who had been reported missing since January. While authorities successfully recovered the child during an early morning operation, the main suspect slipped away and is still on the run. Tonight, police are sharing new and troubling details about the case. ASP Stacey Smith has more.
On Tuesday, 21st April at approximately 3:45 a.m., a joint Belize Police Department and Belize Special Assignment Group (BSAG) team successfully executed Operation Safe Return at a farm located behind San Roman Village in the Stan Creek district. The operation resulted in the successful rescue of a kidnapped Guatemalan female minor being 14 years of age. This female minor was reported missing in Petén, Guatemala in January of 2026. The operation was launched after intelligence was received as to the location of the minor, and given the terrain involved, a decision was made to include the Belize Special Assignment Group. The team of officers visited the location. However, the suspect, who is now being sought, namely Jose Gilberto Duarte, was able to flee. However, we were able to rescue the female. As a part of the investigation, we have also communicated with the Guatemalan counterparts, and we have also involved the Human Services Department in relation to victim care and repatriation.
ASP Smith confirmed that the minor had no relations to her captor and that she was being held against her will. A Santa Elena woman is behind bars tonight after she failed to post bail on an aggravated assault charge linked to an attack on a nurse at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital. 39-year-old Dulce Portillo stands accused of assaulting registered nurse Vivian Lino on Monday night after the nurse caught her slapping a hospital patient and stepped in. Police say Portillo turned on the nurse, shoving her onto a bed and later chasing her with an IV pole before security intervened. Portillo appeared unrepresented this morning before Senior Magistrate Manon Dennison, where she was read a single charge of aggravated assault on a public officer. Although the prosecution raised no objection to bail, the court set bail at $2,000 with one surety and strict no-contact conditions. Unable to meet those terms, Portillo was remanded to Belize Central Prison until her next court date on June 10, 2026. Still ahead, UDP women say reproductive rights are on the line.
I didn't know anything about honey or bees. I was really awed when I opened the hive box and I saw there was just not bees. There is wax, there is propolis, there is pollen, there is the entire education of what is going on inside the hive. And I was like, how come nobody in Belize have ever done this before?
The farm produces 75% of what we consume. We were introduced to instant coffee, so we are growing our own food, but we're drinking instant coffee. So I said, it's time to introduce our own coffee as part of our food security.
My brother, he used to work at a butterfly farm and he was in charge of breeding them. One day when he was in the butterfly cage, he saw that they die naturally and they still look beautiful, and that is when he got the idea to make the butterfly art collages.
I used to do cakes from home I started just giving them away, but I needed to buy my stuff back and I started selling them. So that's what started it, and I used Facebook as my means of advertisement and started getting customers.
I've always been fascinated with gemstones. It's been something that I've been collecting for more than a decade. It's just the fascination of how they come out from the earth, just different minerals and elements that combine. They just form these beautiful colors, and it's so fascinating.
Nokshaya Venture Park came about on the birth of COVID. Everything was shut down in the tourism industry, and we decided, I want to do something to help the community. We got 10 bikes, 10 ATVs, and we were just doing ATV tours at that time. Shortly after, we were approached by the cruise lines. We agreed to work with them, and from then it just started growing.
The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. My husband is a woodworker. He attended the meeting. He was given a space here, and that's how basically I got involved in the business.
To me, Atlantic Bank was the best partner for us to team up with.
Having access to financing, change our business in productivity.
Once I had Atlantic Bank support with the finances, it was smooth sailing from there.
They saw the vision and they were willing to be patient. Atlantic Bank's e-commerce system has accelerated the growth for my business.
Now I can make payments and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
I don't have to run to town and use fuel and the other expenses.
They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that meant the world.
I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Is tightening up and heating up in the NEBL. And this Friday in Belmopan, the Belmopan Trojans try to stay alive versus the steaming hot Caye Western Ballers. 8 p.m. at the UB Gymnasium. Then on Saturday night, the Dan Grieger Dream Ballers try to make a last push in the standings versus the dangerous San Pedro Tiger Sharks. 8 p.m. at the Russell Chiste Auditorium. And in Corozal, the Corozal Spartans, fresh off their first win, faces the test against the bad boys from the city, the Belize City Defenders. 8 p.m. at the Andres Campos Stadium. Giveaways, the NEBL girls, plus the National Sports Council and free Bolido $5,000 halftime shooting challenge. Come out and rally behind your team this NEBL weekend. Sponsored by the Government of Belize.
With violent crime making headlines once again, opposition leader Patrick Faber is turning up the pressure on the Briceño administration. At a UDP press conference in Belize City today, Faber accused the government of losing its grip on public safety, pointing to recent killings, disappearances, and kidnappings as signs of a growing crisis. He argued that incidents of this scale would have once sparked immediate national action, And he didn't just blame the government. He also challenged Belizeans, accusing the public of growing too comfortable with what he called weak leadership and empty assurances on crime.
This morning we woke up to a young man being killed through the Boom Road. They found his body, Mr. Cambranes. Over the past week and a half, people have been missing. Bodies are turning up in swamps. People are just disappearing. Kidnapping is happening. I remember under the term of the Right Honorable Dean Barrow and the various different persons who served as police ministers and so, when you saw a weekend happen and a 2 or 3 murder happen, the people of this country are in an uproar, and you got a response not only from the minister who is responsible. I can't even tell you who the minister right now, because it's a waste of time. But not only do we not know and have not heard from these people, when it was the Right Honorable Dean Barrow who was in charge of this country, that would have been a national crisis. I mean, I fight Mr. Brasta, that Raccoon Street upstairs, I'm not sure if he made a leak back then, the roof. But all the top brass and the police and the Coast Guard and everybody would have been locked down, and we would have come up with an immediate measure to address the crime and violence in this country. I feel that the reason why our Belizean people are soft, because you're soft on the PUP. You're soft on the PUP, maybe because you say, Nengali things that happen here. Well, let me tell you something. Every single thing that the People's United Party does, even if it appears to be good, there's a hustle.
Senator Faber says the United Democratic Party government will prioritize increased investments in national and citizen security. As commuters brace for higher bus fares, the opposition is warning that working Belizeans are being pushed even further. UDP Queen Square Area Representative Godwin Haylock is speaking out against the newly approved fare increase, saying it piles more pressure onto families already struggling with rising fuel prices and daily expenses. At a press conference today, Haylock accused the Briceño administration of showing little compassion and offering no real solutions for the thousands of Belizeans who depend on public transportation just to get to work and back home each day.
Brace yourself, my fellow Belizeans, because first it was the increase in the price of fuel, but by Friday there will be increase in bus fares, leaving your pockets empty. This PUP government, it is obvious they have no solution to the fuel crisis. But more than that, they have no mercy on the working class of the people who have to get on that bus every single day and go back and forth to work. It is anticipated that the cost of bus fares from Belize City to Belmopan will increase by a whopping $2. Man, this government needs lashing. Let's take, for example, the public servant starting his or her career in Belmopan, making less than $1,300 monthly. That's just over $300 per week as your take-home salary. They will have to pay $40 to $50 per week on bus fares, and that's one way. If they go and come, that's nearly $100 per week as their bus fares. And that's depending on the class of service you choose.
Haylock says rising fuel costs may hit bus operators first, but workers will pay the real price through higher fares. He's calling on the Briceño administration to ease the burden by cutting fuel taxes. With everyday expenses climbing and no relief in sight, opposition leader Tracy Panton says Belizeans are being squeezed from all sides and fuel and energy prices are at the heart of the problem. Addressing reporters at today's UDP press conference, Panton warned that the rising cost of living is pushing families into uncomfortable territory, creating uncertainty for households trying to keep up. She accused the Briceño administration of failing to put people first, arguing that at a time when basic necessities are becoming harder to afford, Belizeans are still waiting for meaningful relief from the government.
The uncertainties that Belizeans face on a day-to-day basis reminds me of when we found ourselves exposed to the COVID-19 pandemic back in 2020. At that time, the UDP administration sought to put the people of this country first, effectively, with the high cost of energy, the high cost of fuel, with the escalating cost of living. We are now facing what can best be described as COVID 2.0. The government first priority in times like these should be to the people of Belize. Across the length and breadth of our country, Belizeans are frustrated. We are overwhelmed. We are overburdened and increasingly unheard.
Panton called on the Briceño administration to lower its tax takes on the cost of fuel as a first measure of relief. The national conversation around prescription drugs and who gets access to them is growing louder, and women's advocates are stepping firmly into that debate. Speaking at today's UDP press conference, Anne Marie Williams, chair of the party's National Organization for Women, raised concerns about access to birth control, warning that any effort to restrict contraceptives would roll back hard-won progress for women. Williams says the issue goes beyond medication, calling it a matter of women's health, autonomy, and reproductive rights in Belize.
Today is Earth Day, and women, 50% of this population, and also globally, 50% of the population, we are part of this earth. Our bodies are not separate from nature's logic. To deny us access to contraceptives, to deny us the tools to support our sexual and reproductive health and rights, is to tell the earth that it must grow without season, without choice, or without care for what comes next. And so today, we say plainly that a government that claims to honor life must first honor the women who create it. For more than 50 years, you could have safely and responsibly accessed birth control over the counter in Belize. Anybody who lives here for more than 50 years, you know that. That's right. This long-standing practice has enabled women to exercise autonomy over their own bodies, and of course, their sexual and reproductive health and rights. To reverse this access now is not only regressive, it is profoundly out of step with the lived realities of all Belizean women.
Williams argued that Belize is behind other Caribbean countries like Barbados and Trinidad that are progressive in their women's reproductive health policies and access to contraceptives. Coming up, a land dispute in San Marcos and the fight over who really owns it. But first, here is tonight's weather forecast from the National Met Service.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
Tourism in the Caribbean is evolving, and the way we grow it matters more than ever.
The Sustainable Tourism Conference 2026 is the Caribbean's premier space for forward-thinking tourism leaders. The conference will be held in San Pedro and Burgess Key from the 27th to the 30th of April, and the conference is hosted by the Belize Tourism Board and the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
If you are part of the tourism industry, whether in hospitality, a tour operator, or managing a destination, this is for you.
This year's theme, Tourism in Full Color, explores how we grow tourism sustainably and inclusively across the blue, green, orange, and purple economies.
You'll gain practical experience, connect with regional and international leaders, and you will drive the future of tourism in Belize and the wider Caribbean.
And getting involved is simple. Registration is quick and easy with multiple payment options to suit your needs.
So, if you've been thinking about attending,
now is the time.
Join us.
See you in Belize at STC 2026.
This is a Jack X200. This is a very recommendable vehicle. Storage capacity to the max, right? Fuel efficient, easy rider, AC not a play, the pump, comfortable, and it carry me to all my destination. I can count on Jack to take me and my packages where I need to go. I recommend it anytime. We're the best from the West.
Change is taking shape every day. It all starts with game changers. Investing in modern transport, better health infrastructure, renewable power for all, digital transformation, and more opportunities for a brighter future, the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative is unlocking new potential. Game changers are bringing this to life. Game changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to meet the game changers.
Every idea starts with a curious mind. You're the girls who will build the future.
And that's what Girls in Tech is all about, helping you learn, discover, and see what is possible.
Each of you, if you want, you can be the innovators of the future.
The long-term objectives is to amplify their minds and the opportunities.
In the wake of unrest in Indian Creek Village that thrust long-standing land disputes in southern Belize into the national spotlight, Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited is now calling for restraint, accountability, and clarity as investigations continue. The group says the recent tensions underscore years of unresolved issues on the ground, fueled by competing authorities and a lack of law and order. Even as leaders insist the situation in the village has since calmed and must not be allowed to spiral into further conflict or misinformation.
Toledo Private Lease and Landowners, we came together because we need to protect ourselves and our constitutional right to own what we already own as private and lease landowners. So Indian Creek, this recent example is just one example of a lot of what has been happening on the ground for years, right? And so the investigation into that is ongoing. It certainly brought a lot of necessary attention. We don't want any violence, but when there's a lack of law and order and clarity, this is what happens, right?
The matter, as far as I'm aware, things have quieted down in Indian Creek, and a lot of what is happening in Indian Creek is really amongst the villagers themselves, between the views that the chairman holds and the second alcalde with the village council members, and the actions taken by the alcalde, right? So that gets all muddled up, but really it's just this harmony between them that has brought a lot of conflict in the village. But things have quieted down. I guess people are waiting for the investigation to be completed, and then hopefully that there's going to be a press conference to share what the findings are, because it's really, really important that we keep law and order, that no one is injured, and that you don't, as a result of your views, start defaming organizations or individuals simply to promote your agenda. I think it's really irresponsible.
There's a similar land dispute in San Marcos. At the center of that controversy is a question that cuts through the noise. Who actually owns the land and who's stirring conflict around it? According to Toledo Private and Lease Landowners Limited, the answer is straightforward. Andy Johnson says the Tyndall family holds clear legal title to the property and has done nothing to provoke tension, even as a small group moves in to stake customary claims on lands they've never developed or occupied. Johnson says the facts on the ground don't match the claims. He insists the Tyndalls are simply restoring land that was already cleared, hiring Maya workers, and avoiding confrontation, even calmly returning fencing placed on their property.
When it comes to San Marcos, you have a property landowner. He has clear title. I've looked at all his documents. The Tyndalls. He is of Creole descent. But if you look at it, it's not the entire community of San Marcos. It's just a little group that's saying that it's our customary land that we so use and enjoy. But they have no kind of development on the Tyndalls farm. So how are you going to say you use and enjoy if you've never been there? And the Tyndalls aren't clearing down new property. They're just cleaning up what was already clean before, and they want to institute cattle, coconuts, and so forth. And you really got to look at it, because on the ground with the Tyndalls, all their employees are Mayans. And so
they're creating job opportunities.
You also have to consider that this is instigating violence amongst Maya people.
Did they take on the fence? What was it with the fence?
They went and they erected barbed wire fence on Tyndall's property, saying that we're making a claim, this is ours. And what the Tyndalls did was that they took down back the barbed wire, rolled it up, took it over on the tractor and gave it back to them and said, this is yours, take it off our property. At no time the Tyndalls have been violent. At no time they have incited anything with the community. At no time they have engaged them. They've been very peaceful. And that's something we need to be grateful for, because the members of TPLL have been very peaceful.
The group warns that false claims and unauthorized actions risk turning a land issue into unnecessary community conflict. The debate over the controversial Caye Caulker police station land isn't cooling off. If anything, it's heating up. At today's UDP press conference, Senator and Belize Rural North caretaker Gabriel Zetina took aim at Area Representative Andre Perez, accusing him of a lack of transparency and honesty on the issue. Zetina says residents were misled about the proposed sale and argues it was public pressure and protest, not government action, that ultimately stopped the land from being sold.
He admitted that there was an offer on the table in his recent interview. And he had suggested negotiations. What did the Caye Caulker people and the village council wanted? Was honesty, transparency, and not transparency after being caught. And you see, now there is deflection. To me, that is mind-boggling. Especially since the residents were promised that they would have gotten basically a new building for the police department substation there. The people of Caye Caulker, if they would have not stand up, rise together, took to the street, protest, you bet believe PUP would have sold that land.
Senator Zetina explained that while the parcel of land is currently in the name of the Belize Police Department, he demanded that the land be transferred into the name of the Caye Caulker Village Council. After the break, one kitchen mistake, a home reduced to ashes in San Pedro.
People don't travel with cash anymore. People would stop and they want to do a coffee tour, they want to buy coffee, but people don't have cash with them. Online banking facilitated a lot of what we do. I don't have to run to town and I have to use fuel and other expenses. Atlantic Bank actually approached us. They facilitated us with a bank account, which is something that we didn't have in hand, and then with a POS machine. I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Look here, your kitchen light there, and never in the kitchen.
But I'm going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try to keep my coffee warm for later.
What do you do now?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know, the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You recharge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
Caye, we have exciting news for you. RFNG Life Insurance is now officially in your town. Now, you can visit our office to pay your life insurance premiums or speak to our dedicated agent, Mayeli, about securing your future with the right coverage.
Hi, my name is Mayeli Hoy, your designated agent here at RFNG Life in the Caye District. I'm here to help you explore your options, answer your questions, and find the perfect policy for you and your loved ones.
Whether you're looking for life insurance, critical illness coverage, or future saving plans, we've got you covered. Take the first step towards securing a stable and prosperous financial future for you and your family. RFNG Life Insurance, now in Caye. Visit us today or call to schedule an appointment. Your future starts here.
Easy, accessible, safe, yours. Digi Wallet, easy, accessible, safe, yours.
A quick trip to the kitchen turned disastrous for a San Pedro family Tuesday night after a cooking accident sparked a fast-moving house fire on Marina Drive. Around 7:35 p.m., 31-year-old Nacy Chi was frying an egg when the hose connected to a gas tank came loose, igniting a rug and sending flames racing through the elevated home. By the time police arrived minutes later, the house was fully engulfed. Firefighters led by Fire Chief Kenneth Mortis managed to put out the blaze, but the damage was total. Chi quickly warned the others inside, allowing all 10 adults and 9 children to escape unharmed. No one was injured, but the fire destroyed the house and all its contents. The home was not insured, and the family is now left displaced, facing an uncertain road ahead. The government says its new nurse retention package is designed to stop the bleeding, but critics warn it may be stitching up only part of the wound. Former Nurses Association executive Andrew Baird says the plan focuses too narrowly on public sector nurses, leaving out entire groups that keep Belize's healthcare system running every day. According to Baird, if the goal is to protect healthcare nationwide, the benefits must include nurses at the Carl Huster Memorial Hospital, those working in NHI clinics, and nurses in private sector. Leaving them out, he warns, could spark a damaging ripple effect. Nurses shifting jobs internally, positions opening up elsewhere, and an even smoother path for trained professionals to leave Belize altogether for better pay overseas.
I believe when the Nurses Association negotiates, they should negotiate on behalf of all nurses within the country of Belize, not just for nurses within the public service. The minister or the CEO of the Ministry of Health should ensure that when they take these things to cabinet or these bills are passed, that they include the private sector nurses as well, because then what you would have is underpaid private sector nurses who will then leave the private sector to come to the public, which would create its own problem for the private hospital. But to have a balanced playing field, certainly it should be inclusive for all nurses. In reference to the KHMH, if we are not included, certainly it will pose a serious threat to the cross sector movement of nurses, because we work twice as hard as any other nurses throughout the country, for the simple reason that as the National Tertiary Hospital, we look after the country, and we also serve purpose as a secondary hospital for the district of Belize. So certainly you will have a movement of nurses from our hospital, the national referral, to the public. You already have that occurring for other reasons.
Baird's message is blunt. Retain some nurses and you risk losing the rest. Today, the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, hosted a special performance by their Navy Marching Band as part of a Goodwill visit tied to the 2026 Midshipmen Cruising and Training Squadron. The event featured music, discipline, and cultural displays, followed by a Navy ship open house where students and officials toured vessels that took 50 days to arrive. Beyond the music and ceremony, the visit underscored the long-standing ties between Belize and Taiwan. Francis Usher, CEO of the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security, spoke about the significance of the relationship and the role of Belizean cadets in this international exchange.
This is a part of their Goodwill visit to Belize. It was a marching band presentation along with their honor guard and their Taekwondo team, all from the Taiwanese Naval Academy. A part of their graduating class, we actually had a Belizean who was Officer Cadet Brosser, who also came as a part of the crew of this ship. So, you know, it's the culmination of 4 years of training for Officer Cadet Brosser and 37 years of relationship between Belize and Taiwan. We had an officer, now a pilot in the BDF, who did his initial pilot training at the Taiwanese Air Force Academy. Officer Cadet Brosser is actually going back to Taiwan along with the ship, and he is actually going into their Marine Corps training to specialize in being a Marine Infantry type officer. And so what we find is that Taiwan helps us a lot in specialty training, in different ways to develop the capacity. Like I said, Taiwan has cracked the code. They invest in Belize's most important resource, and that's Belize's people.
Up next, stories come alive at Belize's two-day book fair.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
Protect your motor, secure your property. Oh yeah, home protector insurance got you covered, you see. Covered, you see. From motor to property and even marine. We'll keep you safe no matter where you've been. No matter where you've been, no matter where you've been. Get the peace of mind that only we can bring. Oh yeah. With our insurance, you will never fret or sing. Never fret or sing. We offer bonds and so much more. So much more. Home protector insurance, we got what you're looking for. What you're looking for. Secure your...
Alright, you're all set. I'll swap out the water inlet valve and everything is running normally.
Amazing. So what will be the cost?
Oh, for you? There's no cost.
No cost? I'm flattered, but I'm actually married.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's actually part of our 1-year warranty policy.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Don't worry, it happens all the time.
Really?
No.
Belize's only full-service GE USA dealer. Full service, full warranty, full selection. GE Appliances. Good things for life. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progreso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Open Your Eyes. CEO Chester Williams shares the ministry's perspective on Mayan land rights in Toledo and how they're staying ahead of the developments. The Ministry of E-Governance breaks down the national ID system and what it means for you through upcoming public consultations. Next up, the Belize Zoo celebrates World Tapir Day and raises awareness for our beloved national animal. Book lovers, get ready as the Belize Book Sector Network rolls out exciting Book Week events across the country. Tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Open Your Eyes and start your morning right.
I didn't know anything about honey or bees. I was really awed when I opened the hive box and I saw that there was just not bees. There is wax, there is propolis, there is pollen, there is the entire education of what is going on inside the hive. And I was like, how come nobody in Belize have ever done this before?
The farm produces 75% of what we consume. We were introduced to instant coffee, so we're growing our own food, but we're drinking instant coffee. So I said, it's time to introduce our own coffee as part of our food security.
My brother, he used to work at a butterfly farm and he was in charge of breeding them. One day when he was in the butterfly cage, he saw that they die naturally and they still look beautiful, and that is when he got the idea to make the butterfly art collages.
I used to do cakes from home. I started just giving them away, but I needed to buy my stuff back and I started selling them. So that's what started it, and I used Facebook as my means of advertisement and started getting customers.
I've always been fascinated with gemstones. It's been something that I've been collecting for more than a decade. It's just the fascination of how they come out from the earth, just different minerals and elements that combine. They just form these beautiful colors, and it's so fascinating.
Nuxia Adventure Park came about on the birth of COVID. Everything was shut down in the tourism industry, and we decided, I want to do something to help the community. We got 10 bikes, 10 ATVs, and we were just doing ATV tours at that time. Shortly after, we were approached by the cruise lines. We agreed to work with them, and from then it just started growing.
The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. My husband is a woodworker. He attended the meeting, he was given a space here, and that's how basically I got involved in the business.
To me, Atlantic Bank was the best partner for us to team up with.
Having access to financing, change our business in productivity.
Once I had Atlantic Bank support with the finances, it was smooth sailing from there.
They saw the vision and they were willing to be patient.
Atlantic Bank's e-commerce system has accelerated the growth for my business.
Now I can make payments and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
I don't have to run to town and use fuel and the other expenses.
They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that meant the world.
I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The Belize Book Sector Network is celebrating the power of reading and literature with a 2-day book fair in observance of World Book and Copyright Day. The event, part of Book Week 2026, brings together authors, publishers, librarians, and book lovers for displays, panel discussions, and opportunities to engage directly with Belize's expanding literary community. We spoke with President of the network, Feline Cayetano.
The book fair is part of Book Week 2026. These 2 days of the book fair are full days. It starts at 9 a.m. with the book fair itself, whereby displays of books from publishers, authors, librarians, all parts of the ecosystem, printers come together and host the public, students, everyone interested in literacy to come together to enjoy books, enjoy panel discussions, and meet the author sessions. This is beautiful when you see the full display of what Niche has brought out, the Image Factory, of course. You see Kubola, BRC, we have some independent authors as well who have come together. You're looking at Ishel Putt, you're looking at Miss Gail Lash, and it goes on and on. We also have Baka Bush, which is a bookseller, coming to the table, of course, the National Library Service, and these are, again, elements of the Book Sector Network. Since 2009, when the first book fair was held, we have tried to ensure that each part of the book sector is represented, and this year we are so pleased to have a more organized program.
The book fair runs for 2 days. Aspiring authors and publishers are especially invited to attend day 2 to have all your questions on writing and publishing answered. Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, viral domestic violence footage rekindles police oversight debate. Cher Rekenya commented, "People deserve second chances, but I'm very sure this is not the first time he did that to her. Abuse of power because he's the law. He thought he wasn't going to suffer the consequences." Turning to young technician Jameer Cambranes found dead off Boom Hattieville Road. Evangie Evans shared, "This is getting out of hand. What is the department's doing to solve this continuous problem? Man, this is sad." And finally, digital story, you need a prescription to buy Viagra, Erwin Will shared. And why is it a problem to have men get properly consulted by a doctor to see which medication would be safest for them? Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.